Hello, welcome to Commissioner's Corner. I'm Commissioner Charlotte Garrido. You know, we all use roadways in Kitsap County, and sometimes we don't realize how much work goes into keeping those roadways passable for us. So today I wanted to spend a little time out at the South Road Shop so that we could get to know some of the people who are doing that work, the tasks and responsibilities that they take on, and some of the equipment that they use for the work that they do. So let's begin Commissioner's Corner.
Good morning, everybody. Today, you're doing some overheading that school started, and we've got several requests in this area that the buses are hitting some trees, so we're going to get out there and take care of that, take advantage of the people we have today and take care of those issues.
We'll work intersection to intersection and then move to the next section. So there's a lot of work in there.
So we just finished morning roll call and we're here outside again. Everybody's gone out to their sites. So Jacques, what did we see inside? We saw some assignments being made. Can you tell us a little bit more about what we heard?
Sure. What we saw was the morning dispatch. We do that at all three shops. It's a time for the supervisor to assign work to the crew, and so he was dispatching individuals out to job sites for specific work and vehicles that they're going to use on the job. We also saw one of our summer help students participating in that, and that's kind of a tradition they do here at the South Shop, where as a student leaves, they get to dispatch the crew, so that's fun for them. So the summer help program, we heavily rely on it. Each year we get about 8 employees, 8 summer help students at each shop, and they supplement our crew. Flagging, overhead brushing. It's really a program that helps us to get work done. So they're a valued part of our crew, and we look forward to having them each year.
Great. Well, I actually have seen them out as I drive around. I've seen them on the roads this summer. So we have college students who do some work with Public Works. Tell me a little bit more about the other employees. Some of them seem really, really well versed in what they're doing. Sure. So what's the tenure of some of the employees in the roads department? Yeah,
here at South Shop, we've got a pretty balanced group of people. We have we've got 22 employees here at the shop. 7 of them have been here for more than 20 years, some approaching 30. We've got about 7 people as well that have been here for more than 10 years, and 8 people that have been here for up to 9 years. So it's a real balanced group with varied experience. You know, as a road shop as a whole, we've had quite a bit of turnover in the other 2 shops, which is a challenge for the guys to get people trained up. And as these tenured employees leave, it's important for us to capture their knowledge so that we can pass it down. So they're fortunate here that they haven't seen that turnover yet, so we're still maintaining quite a bit of experience and expertise. Yeah, they're a good, skilled group of people.
Yeah, they sure. I sure admire their skills tremendously. Would you like to tell us just a little bit about some of the tasks and responsibilities and the work hours associated?
Sure. Our tasks primarily surround maintaining the road surfaces. So we pave our roads, we chip seal our roads, we crack seal, We've tried various pilot project programs to learn new and better efficient ways of maintaining the road. So we're always looking at different means and methods for keeping our roads at a high standard. And the fact is that Kitsap County's roads are in pretty good shape as compared to some other municipalities within the state. So the guys are doing a real good job there. In addition to that, they're responsible for maintaining all the appurtenances associated with the road. Here in the South Shop, we have 8 bridges that they're responsible to maintain as well. There's a total of 40 throughout the county. They do shoulder work, ditching, vegetation management, which is big here in Washington because we get lots of rain and plants grow. So they clear vegetation to maintain sight distance and clear overhead. We do snow and ice control in the wintertime, which is very important to keep our roads safe during that time period. We've got 4 pits and 1 quarry where we manufacture rock materials that we use to maintain our roads. We also are responsible for emergency response and after-hours call-outs. And so the guys volunteer for that program, and they're called out at all hours of the day to make sure our roads are safe for the citizens. So it's a large breadth of work that they're responsible for, and a challenge to make sure we stay ahead of the curve each year to keep our roads at a high level of service.
Well, there certainly is a lot to know, and I agree with you about the quality, the caliber of the work that is done, and love to watch the skills being exhibited. But you talked about the different materials, the crack seal and the chip seal and the asphalt. What the heck are you talking about?
Well, as we pave our roads, over time it degrades, for a number of reasons. It's vehicle loading, it's the UV rays from the sun actually breaking the asphalt oil down, and so the roads start to degrade over time. And so we employ various methods to bring the roads back up to an acceptable, comfortable standard for the traveling public, and that includes applying new courses of asphalt. It includes chip seal. It includes crack seal. That's a first method to keep the roads in good condition. We also fog seal, which is a light application of oil that seals some of the minor cracks and locks in the aggregate, rejuvenates the base oil. So there's all sorts of different techniques that we've employed. Well, like I said, we've tried pilot projects too. We're analyzing those. We've employed rubberized chip seal, slurry seals, micro seals. These are all different preservation methods that have been employed in other parts of the country, and now they're coming to the market as technologies improve. We're able to open up the window of application here in Washington State, where our weather's a little bit more sensitive to moisture and cold. So they're all different means and methods for keeping our roads in good shape.
Well, there certainly is a lot to know, but I want to go back to this skill set that I see exhibited by all the workers in the road shops. And I love to go out on site. I've felt very welcomed as I went out and watched a chip seal operation, for example, and got to ride along and watch the teamwork that happens among those who are working on the project, from the hand signals to the huge equipment that's doing big stuff, and the finesse that some of the smaller equipment needs to do, but yet they are all orchestrated and working together. Tell me a little bit more about how that teamwork ethic has developed, and how, it's quite beautiful to observe.
Yeah. Well, it comes with time. Like I said, we're rolling new people in all the time, and we have a tenured staff as well. And so we do a lot of our training in-house. Some of our people are sent to outside agencies and conferences to learn, about vegetation management and application of herbicides and pesticides. There's asphalt conferences that we send our people to learn about proper application and different techniques. But a lot of it's done here in-house. As the senior employees are working with the new people, they train them on how to do the work correctly. We sit down often and talk about or revisit our processes and procedures. And we just did that here with our chip seal program, and we're really seeing some benefit of that. So we do that on a regular basis as well. It's a lot of communication. We have lots of safety programs and protocols in place that the guys revisit each day when they go out to a job site to make sure that the work is being done safely. And we learn new things all the time, and so we revisit the processes over and over again to make sure that we're doing things right. And so it's a lot of collaboration with the crew. As they see things that are being done that need a course correction, they talk about it. And you know, we maintain a pretty safe program.
Sure, and I know that safety and efficiency are the two qualities that are paramount within the department. I actually am impressed again by the techniques that are used. And used to be rodeos. Does the department still participate in rodeos? And that's R-O-A-D-E-O, rodeo?
Yeah, we haven't done that now for a few years. I've been talking to one of my colleagues in the utility division about doing that again. So
tell us a little bit about what a rodeo is doing.
What a rodeo is it's a competition amongst the employees where we set up different courses applicable to the type of equipment that they're using. And it could be a dump truck that drives through a set of cones and backs through cones, and they're scored based on how they do. If they knock over cones, they're deducted points. It's that kind of thing. We have courses for loaders and excavators and all the various equipment, road graders and all that. So it's kind of a fun skilled competition where they hone their skills leading up to it, and they come together as a work group, and there is a healthy competition between the employees, and it's just a good camaraderie building event. And so we've been talking here over the last couple of years about re-energizing that program. It's a 1 or 2 day event, but it's also not only localized with the counties, but all the counties come together at state events like APWA and some of the other conferences, and they actually compete at that event, and the top winners go back to a national event. And so in years past, we've had employees from Kitsap County that have won the state competitions and went back to nationals and done real well as well. So it's a fun program that we need to consider doing again.
It's fun, and it's really valuable to see our own employees compete with one another and to develop their skills and excel, and it's something that the public can also observe in some ways on a daily basis if they're attending to it. Actually, years ago, I got to do a ride along during a rodeo and was invited to drive the dump truck, and so that was a real fun experience for me. And I wouldn't say that I won any competitions, but it was really fun. And so I can see why the staff or the employees enjoy that. So we've talked about the people, we've talked about the tasks that they perform and the responsibilities. Tell me about some of the equipment, and now a lot of it's missing because it's out on the roads, and I'd like to go out and take a look at it on the roads. We go from pretty small stuff to really, really huge equipment.
Yeah, so in order to maintain all the various different appurtenances in the roadway, it requires different equipment, of course. So we have just small tools, hand rakes, shovels, chainsaws, jumping jack compactors, plate compactors, small tools like that they use to complete their work.
Jumping jack compactors?
They're compactors, they're handheld compactors that compact soil and asphalt, which is important to, for the quality of the product. But we also have, of course, larger equipment. You can see some in the background, I think. Various pickup trucks, flatbeds. We've got lots of trailers to haul material and equipment around, but we have excavators for digging ditches or repairing bulkheads. We have loaders to shuttle volumes of material, load trucks or shuttle material around. We got bucket trucks for doing overhead vegetation management. We've got spray vehicles for applying pesticides and herbicides. We've got ATHI machines. They're shouldering machines. ATHI is actually a brand name, but we use those to pick up material and to grade shoulders. There's just a whole wealth of different type of equipment that we use.
And we've actually got some materials here on site as well.
So we stockpile material here close to the south shed. We sited it at the pits as well, but they're kind of outlying. So we shuttle material here so it's close to the work site. And we have various types, not all dirt's the same. So depending on its application, you'll use a certain type of material. So we have crushed rock, we have pit run, we've got quarry rock of different sizes that we use depending on the application. We have a pile of recycled asphalt that we use to reduce the impact to our natural resources. And so we use that and blend it with material to shoulder, to backfill trenches, to build embankments. We're looking at use of recycled asphalt. The acronym is RAP. We're using RAP, or we're looking to use RAP in our chip seal program. And so it's all in an effort to reduce impact to our quarries. It's hard to get permits for new quarries, and Kitsap County just doesn't have a whole lot of rock. So we're always looking for ways to reutilize materials, which saves the taxpayers money.
Yeah, good. Well, you've really offered us a lot of valuable information, but I'd like to go out on site and see some action.
Sure.
And I hope that you'll join us too. Stay tuned for more Commissioner's Corner. Out on Bear Tree Lane, and we're watching some vegetation management. Jacques, what's going on here?
So the crew is out here. We received a call from the school district, and they were concerned because some of their buses were hitting some of the branches that were overhanging the roadway. So that's one of our functions that I talked about earlier. The crew is responsible for maintaining safe sight distance along the roadway, as well as branches that are overhanging the roadway so that buses and trucks do not hit them. So as we approached the project, they had all their traffic control set up, all the advanced signage. As you can see, we have a flagger in place to inform the traveling public of when to stop and when it's safe to proceed. The crew is using a bucket truck. They're cutting the overhead limbs off, and the rest of the crew is grabbing the debris and chipping it into the back of the dump truck. So this is an important piece of work that we do. Of course, we talked about safety before, and it's of high priority. So we also saw as we drove up, the crew was having a tailgate meeting, revisiting the safe processes in this particular task, and talking about the details of this particular site. So that's what we're doing.
Tailgate meeting?
Yeah, a tailgate meeting is just a gathering where they discuss, safety, the procedures and processes in the work, and make sure everybody knows where they're supposed to be, what their particular work task is.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we're seeing quite a bit of is the safety components of checking the vehicle every morning, even though you left it there safely the night before, making sure that it's ready and operational for today, having on-site discussion about exactly who's doing what. And
yeah, we do that for every task. We call them pre-cons. Pre-construction is what that means. And they talk about the specifics of the work, including safety, where to set up signs, and again, where everybody's supposed to be in that particular maintenance train.
So I'm so impressed with the timesheet that you showed me of all the tasks, how they're broken down, and the budget that's allocated. Can you just tell me a little bit more about where that came from and how you use that?
Sure. What we have a multitude of tasks that we're responsible to do, and as a county, we're responsible to report our work plan to the County Road Administration Board each year. It's a standard of good practice that's required by state law. So what we've done is we've taken that plan that identifies all the specific work, the quantities of work for each of those tasks, and they're our target for the year. They're our target goals for each work task for the year. What the guys do is they take that information and they create an annual schedule that shows when they are planning on doing the work. And of course, that's a dynamic schedule. It changes sometimes because of weather or equipment breakdown or just availability of personnel. And so each month we print out reports to see where we're at for each various task, and we adjust that schedule accordingly to make sure that the guys are focused and they can plan ahead and know when they're going to shift gears to a new task, just to ensure that we get all of our work done.
It's very impressive to know how much thought goes into every day's operation, and then to know that there's a tailgate discussion in the morning. There's probably some kind of a debrief about particular hazards or particular accomplishments made during each day as well. Is there?
Yeah. We got a whole reporting process. We work with our accountants downstairs with payroll. Our time card sheets reflect the various work that they do by work code and road log number, part numbers. So everything we do has an accounting, so we can keep track of it. We can keep track of cost, productivity for each type of work. You know, this schedule I talked about was an annual schedule, a long-term schedule. They also plan week to week. They do bi-weekly schedules that are more focused plans that the three shops can coordinate together. We share resources. We sometimes send a group from one shop to another.
So let's talk about the shops. There's one in North Kitsap, one in Central Kitsap, and one in South Kitsap.
Correct. Those are the specific road districts. Road mileage and service area is pretty equal between the three shops. So they do a good job of coordinating and planning and sharing equipment, sharing personnel. If there's a specific work that needs focused attention, they'll gravitate towards that and allocate resources to make sure it's done. So they work real well together.
And just to revisit, that road mileage is 915 miles for the entire county, and about 325 for each. 325 for South Kitsap for sure.
325, like I said, it's fairly well balanced. They're all right around 300 center line miles each.
So public contacts you on a regular basis. You've got an established schedule and all the things that you want to do, but how does it factor in when you get a call or a request from a citizen?
Yeah, we get calls from citizens about deficiencies in the road system. As I mentioned, this particular issue came from the school district. Buses were hitting the overhead branches, so we responded to those as well. The public calls in our open line, Kitsap 1.
Or the Commissioner's office.
Or the Commissioners. It comes also from other divisions within Public Works as well. They'll notify me of issues that they see or that they hear about, so we rely on that too. We're out on the road every day, but we can't be everywhere at once, and so those calls inform us of where we need to work, and so we will focus on those. Well, we'll put them on our work schedule and address those as well. The public can call into Kitsap 1 at 360-337-5777 and report anything they see on the roadway that is a concern, and we'll go out and evaluate it and either address it if it's a safety issue at that time, or we'll put it into the program and get to it when work allows.
Great. And while you're giving contact information, we're going to be showing our website on the screen in just a couple of minutes. But let's now talk a little bit about some of the brush management that we're seeing.
Well,
ditch management.
Oh, the ditch management. Drainage is important here in Washington. We get lots of rain, and so we work in collaboration with our stormwater division to make sure that all our drainage facilities are functioning adequately and they're sized appropriately to carry the capacity of runoff we have. Here in the road department, our primary function is to maintain the ditch system, and so over time ditches erode, they accrete sediment, and so they need maintenance. Vegetation grows in there as well, and will restrict flow. So the group goes out and with an excavator and trucks, and we employ BMPs as we do the work and expose soil, but it's to reestablish the ditch section to its original construction cross-section as much as possible to maintain flow.
And you talked about BMPs, that's a best management practice.
Correct.
What is a BMP?
Well, a BMP,
a
BMP is a method for controlling runoff. So as we expose soil, of course, we're taking the vegetation off the surface. It exposes the fine soils that can be picked up and transported in the water column. We put silt fence in to keep water from migrating onto private property or into critical areas. Hydro seed, straw, mulch. There's a whole myriad of different BMPs that we employ depending on the location and the type of work we're doing.
Great.
But it's all meant to protect the environment, to maintain water quality, And it's an obligation we have, and it's important.
Jacques, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your helping us understand the things that we are seeing here today, and to allow us to come in and to the road shop and observe the daily scheduling and how people muster out for the day. It was a lighter presence at today's meeting than in some, because it's late summer.
Right.
But what a fabulous crew we have. Every one of them is an expert in a lot of different things on behalf of Kitsap citizens. So as you're out driving around, when you observe their work, give them a thumbs up. Thanks.
Thank
See
you.
you next time.